Big right hand by Mayweather. It's just a matter of how much more of this could he take. 3, 4.
Openings from a distance.
That right hand is landing very accurately now from Broner.
Nice short left.
Was landing the clean, effective blows. And as the round goes on, here comes Margarito with this sort of accumulation of punches where eventually he started penetrating and landing his shots. Rough round to score.
There's her dreaming down the left eye. That may have been caused by that right. Belts away from Andrew Maloney. Oh, he snapped his head back. Franco does damage to Maloney. Of Andrew.
What's going on, y'all? Carlito here, back with another video on your screen. I hope everyone's having a great day. I'm here with Fight Hub founder Marcos Villegas. It's an extreme honor, bro, for you to come on my channel. I appreciate the support you showed me, taking your time out of your day. That's great. And first off, how are you doing? How did you feel about the last fight for Charlo?
Doing good. Thank you for having me on. The last fight for Charlo. I told one of our correspondents, Yair Martinez, that does great work for us, that I felt the fight going into the 10th round and seeing how it was going to play out was going to be a draw. I told him, like, look, bro, this is going to be a draw. Watch. And he's like, no, you're crazy, bro. Like, there's no way. By the end, I could see how the judges scored it the way they did with the two cards. The 117, 111, I thought was ridiculous. I don't know how you could score that way. There was a lot of close rounds. I felt that Castaño was a little bit more active. The fights, you judge round by round, this fight can be a little deceiving because when you look at the fight overall as a whole, Charlo rocked Castaño more. And if you were to see that fight happen on the streets, you would say that Charlo won the fight, because that's how you judge a fight on the streets, is whoever is able to hurt the other guy more. But it's not a street fight, it's a boxing fight, and you judge every round, every fight round by round as its own new fight. And given that, I felt Castaño banked a lot of the early rounds, and I felt that he won 7-5. In the fight, it was very close. I could see as to why there was a draw. To me, 7-5 is like a 1 point round. 1 round fight. So, if there's a swing round that goes to Charlo's, it's a draw. So yeah. I felt that Castaño barely pulled it off. The draw, I could see why, it came to a draw, but I felt, based on his activity, that he barely pulled it off.
That's true. Yeah, I was there with my brother-in-law. He was like, "Oh, how do you feel like after the fight was over? How do you feel how they scored the card?" And I said, "Well, I can kind of see why they did it a draw, just because of it looked like Castaño was going to town. Was going to town in the early rounds, in the middle, and then Charlo had to come back up, and then Charlo just showed up then, so it was just kind of even. That's just so crazy though, and at least my first question, what made you get into wanting to do a journalist and media and stuff like that?
It was an accident, to be honest. I was, I guess, during a layoff back in 2007, 2008, and I was doing freelance marketing work for an MMA company. They were an upstart that were putting on fights, and I was heading their marketing department, and they needed somebody to get like online content. They couldn't pay anybody, so I started doing it. I ended up really liking it. I got a lot of feedback from it, and I decided, like, well, I have all this free time, might as well do something with it. So I decided to go take journalism courses, and got my AA in journalism. And that's pretty much, in a nutshell, a short, abridged version of how it happened. Was that way, was because of the layoff. And then I just felt that, like, it was a fun thing to do. Like, I had gotten a lot of positive feedback. I had all this content, and I started posting it up on YouTube as well. But I felt like, hey, well, I want to be taken serious. And I want to see, how, I don't know, the right way to go about it. So I decided to go to school, and then that's pretty much it.
Wow. That's a journey though,
Yeah.
And now
It
you
was a journey.
back at it.
Yeah. What's up?
And I said to look back at it, like that's a journey, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, that's how I kind of just like fell into this, and even this at times is, can get you down and boxing is a weird industry, man. Like it can give you a lot, but it could take a lot away from you too. So I'm not saying like that this whole journey has been like peaches and rainbows, like there's been a lot of times that I've been down or just kind of like angry at the boxing industry and everything like that. But I think for the most part, it's a lot better work than what I was doing before. So
Yeah, I understand that. Like, shoot, I wish I could make this a full-time thing, what I do here.
I always tell people that with any business, it starts part-time until it becomes full-time. This thing was part-time for me until it became full-time. Like I was juggling like 4 other jobs while doing this. I didn't make any money on YouTube up until like any real significant money up until like 5 years. And granted, I started when the YouTube monetization program they didn't even have one. So yeah, it's everybody, their journey, like you can't compare your journey to others, because everyone's journey is different and everybody can excel at different speeds or take their time. But I always tell people like this is a part-time until it turns into a full-time, and that's your attitude that you have to have towards it. You can't expect for it to pop off for you like right away.
Your favorite moment, like by far, as of like right now, being the founder, and what you've seen.
I don't know, man. Like there's been a lot of memorable moments. Obviously, a lot of memorable fights that I've been to. A lot of great fights. A lot of shitty fights too. I ain't gonna lie. One that always will stick out to me is that Pacquiao Marquez 4 fight. Because I was lucky enough to be there ringside, and just kind of seeing the aftermath, and now like seeing like the significance of it, like that's a really historical fight now, because of the way that Manny got knocked out, and just seeing firsthand like how his feet flopped and like how everyone freaked out, how like everyone at Top Rank had like this grim look on their face. Like there was a bit of worry because Manny was on the floor on the canvas for a good amount of time, and just like looking at it in hindsight, like the energy in the arena, like you knew something crazy was going to happen that night. Like the atmosphere was pretty freaking crazy. I remember I walked out to go to my media seat and I just kind of like took it all in. And I looked around and I was just like, dude, like these people are hyped. And then I did that again, like right before Marquez like walked out, and I was just like, oh man, like the energy here is crazy. But I think that's one of the ones that'll always stick out to me because of just, how dramatic of an ending that fight had.
That's true. Yeah, I remember watching that and I was like, dang, bro, like that's how it's gonna end, After all this their crazy journey that they had in their fights. It's like, dang, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was kind of a weird thing because Manny's kind of seen as like this beloved figure to everybody because he encompasses like what's right in boxing in the sports sense, in terms of him always challenging himself against the best, him being an action pleasing fighter for both boxing fans and casual fans, and you don't want to see anything ever bad happen to any of the boxers, so like for a moment you're like, oh man, like I hope Manny's okay. On the other end, to see Marquez get that type of victory finally that eluded him, because I know a lot of people felt that he won all 3 of those fights, and people felt that he was on the wrong end of a bad decision, that he got screwed over well, at least for the most part the second and third fights, because the first fight he got knocked down 3 times and fought his way back. So in an end I felt like that was the other part that not a lot of people talk about, is like Marquez finally got his just dues, finally got his recognition, finally got his props. You know, but yeah, that was a crazy night.
Wow, that's wild, bro. But like, the fights that are coming up right now, um, what's like the the fight that everyone needs to look out for?
This Pacquiao Spence fight, I think, is one of the ones to look out for because, you know, I've heard little whispers that this could end up being Manny Pacquiao's last fight. I've heard from a few people saying like, "Hey, this is going to be Manny's last fight." It wouldn't surprise me. Manny's 42 at this point. But I've also heard a lot of people say too that, you know, Manny could end up beating Errol Spence. So that would be something to see a 42-year-old Manny Pacquiao go and just beat Errol Spence, a guy that's seen as, you know, consensus number 1 or number 2 at 147 pounds. A guy like, you know, Manny being able to go and beat a guy like that's a crazy thing to witness and even see. But I think it's also, you know, a competitive fight. You're seeing a guy who is the best, or one of the best at least, of his generation, go against the top guy now in his generation, or at least one of the 2 top 147 pounders. So that, to me, I think that's the fight of the summer, fight of the year. You know, Wilder Fury 3 is great, it's good, but you know, it should play out how we've seen the second fight and the first fight, you know, in that fight. You know, Joshua versus Usyk, same thing. Usyk could end up winning, but not a lot of people are giving him a shot. In this fight with Pacquiao and Spence, a lot of people give Pacquiao a shot. It's a lot different. I would say maybe it could be, you know, 60-40, 55-45. But, you know, it's interesting because we really don't know. We haven't seen Errol take on a guy like Manny. Yeah, he's fought Danny Garcia. He's fought Sean Porter. He's fought, you know, great opposition, but he's never fought a Manny Pacquiao. But on the flip side, this is a 42-year-old Manny Pacquiao now.
He's never fought a legend yet.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. I can't wait to see it.
It's a great fight. I think a lot of people are not giving Caleb enough credit. I understand because of the past few opponents he's had, and you know, he looked less than spectacular against Caleb Truax. You know, I get it. But what people are failing to forget is Caleb is an excellent boxer. Can make a lot of guys look basic in there, and he's really solid fundamental wise. And Canelo's always had trouble with guys that have good jabs and that could box real well. Caleb's that guy. Not to say that maybe, you know, a thing against Caleb could be the punching power to keep Canelo off of him. And Canelo's fought guys that are a lot better in his career and everything like that. And he's been fighting a lot more against elite competition. But I think this is going to be a lot more competitive fight than what people are saying it's going to be. And I would not be surprised if it's really close coming into the last rounds.
I respect that, man. Respect that one. You know, let my subscribers know, you know, where they can find you at, social medias, YouTube.
Yeah, go ahead and follow us at Fight Hub TV on Instagram. If you guys haven't already, subscribe to our channel Fight Hub TV as well. So yeah, just stay tuned with us there on social media. We got content just about almost every day that's going out on the YouTube channel, and yeah.
Appreciate that, man. I appreciate it again, you coming on my channel. It really means a lot. All respect to you and your team. Hope to see you soon, man, at a fight.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. Thank you so much, Carlos. Really appreciate it. Everybody, you know, keep supporting Carlos. Carlos, you know, keep working hard, bro. You know, it's not something you could build overnight. It's step by step, you know, little by little. You know, you don't build your dream house in a week. You know, it takes a year, 2 years and stuff like that. So just keep at it. You just got to be consistent with it. But, you know, everybody go and support Carlos, man. And Carlos, thanks for the invite, bro.
I appreciate it, sir. And let's do it again. You know, whenever you're ready, bro. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, man.
Thanks, bro.
All right.
One love, Carlito. Go follow all his links down in the description down below. Everything, go show him some love. All respect. Remember that. One love, Carlito. We out.
All the way. Are we going out tonight? All the way. I'ma chug the bottle, chug it all the way. Made it this far.